Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am so excited for this day of Indiemas. I have been planning it for a while because today is the first day of winter, so I really wanted to go through and pull out all of my eyeshadow palettes that I feel like give those very winter, icy, cool toned, and we've got a mixture here, some different vibes going on, but I just love getting inspired by the seasons, shopping my stash. I've definitely done videos in the past of spring palettes, fall palettes. I don't know that I've done a summer palette favorites in a while. Obviously makeup has no rules. You can wear any color you want any time of year, but these are just the palettes that I thought of. Oh Lord, I almost just dropped that when I thought of winter. So let's jump on in. I just have to start with my collaboration with Adept Cosmetics. This is the AMYLOVES eyeshadow palette. My heart really gravitates towards these tones for winter and for spring, but I feel like if you're doing holiday looks, like you have the most beautiful silver shades in this palette, but also there's something about a periwinkle, like that just icy blue purple type shades that really make me think of winter. I did actually film the look I'm wearing right now for just like a simple classic holiday look using my palette, and that video I think it should already be live on my channel if you want to check out how I got this look. But for me, I feel like this is definitely giving wintry vibes, and it's not that I don't always reach for it because I do, I'm obsessed, but even more than normal. And just honestly, honorable mention to my blush palette, which I created to go with the eyeshadow palette perfectly. I feel like this would be such a cute addition to any of the eyeshadow palettes that I'm talking about today. I feel like you can really achieve that kind of rosy, frostbitten, I was just out in the cold all day, I was in a sleigh, like, I don't know, that kind of look with this cheek palette. And speaking of very, very, very cool tones, I just had to pull out the Natasha Denona Xenon palette, where there's also the mini Xenon, which is just 5 shades, and that one is great as well. It's really everything that you need. But I was just thinking of larger palettes when I was putting this list together, but mini Xenon is definitely that girl as well. But I feel like this is another great one that if you're just wanting like those super icy gray looks, this makes me think of winter the absolute most when I'm looking at this color story, and I think it's so pretty. I also think that you could do pretty much the same eye look that I have on today using this eyeshadow palette. The only thing with the Xenon is that it is kind of just like that grayscale one note. I think that's why I prefer the mini Xenon, because it's like everything you need in one versus like over and over and over again. But this is a really good palette overall. And then just a more affordable option. I'm not 100% sure if this is still available on ColourPop's website. I hope it is, but maybe you already have it in your collection. The ColourPop Blow and Smoke is another really great option for just like that wintry grayscale kind of look. And if you missed it, I did actually feature both of these palettes in my swatching all of my silver shadows, and Blow and Smoke Silver, the one in the middle here, was definitely one of the best. Just saying, ColourPop did that with this palette. So this is another really, really great option for a palette that I feel like is giving me the cool tones, but it's also just a little bit more interesting, a little bit more inspired when it comes to a winter color story. I was thinking the Jewels and Gem palette from Oden's Eye. This is another one where I'm kind of like, it's kind of wintry, kind of springy, just depending on how you use it. But I think that this could give you such beautiful, interesting winter looks. I really love these tones that are happening here, and you can go in with a little bit of warmth, but I feel like overall this palette is cool and interesting and just a really, really good one. Beautiful shimmers. This is one of my favorite permanent launches that Oden's Eye has done. The palette to really end all other palettes when it comes to this video is probably the Cosmic Brushes Winter Wonderland palette. I mean, it is a whole theme with this eyeshadow palette, and it's definitely like those purple, blue, green, just northern lights, like icy, fun kind of vibes. This is not a neutral palette by any means, so it's a little something different compared to some of my other favorites I've mentioned so far, but I just feel like this is another one where I feel very, very inspired. I think it's so fun. Of course, all of the names are winter related as well. We've got Comfort, Calm, Icicle, Snowfall, Peaceful, Winter Solstice, and we have little snowflake imprints, so this one is just a whole vibe. And Cosmic Brushes is a really good, very affordable indie brand, especially if you are located in the UK. Of course, if you're ordering one palette at a time to the US, it can be expensive. I really need to go on and order a few of their palettes because they've had a few launches, but I haven't bought them individually. I just need to grab it all together. But I love the Winter Wonderland palette, so fun. From Fantasy Cosmetica, I was thinking that this would be a cute, like winter, but kind of grungy. If that is your vibe, I feel like the Rogue palette is perfect. This is a fun blue, purple, green color story, but not so icy and bright. I also think that this would be a beautiful addition with a lot of other palettes I'm talking about, just to, you know, a little companion. I love a little companion palette moment. Just a smaller color story, but beautiful, great formula, all around 10 to 10. Another colorful option that is a newer palette to my collection, but really gives you all of the Winter Wonderland vibes, is the Bella Beaute Bar and Sassy Fairy Realm of Fairies palette. And this is such a stunning purple blue palette, but you do have some really nice icy tones with this. The shimmers are out of this world, so good. I do have a full video already live on this, and like I said, it's newer to my collection, but it just captivated my heart right away. My stomach is growling. This color story makes me excited to be cold. That's what I'm saying, and that's a big ask, honestly. We have, let's see, an oldie but a goodie. This is limited edition, no longer available, but I wanted to mention it in case you have it and it's just collecting dust in the back of your collection. The Sydney Grace and Temptalia Quintessence palette in the light version. This is just another really beautiful option where you've got half neutrals, half colors, and there's a lot of really nice cool tones going on here. I feel like you can see from the packaging it is kind of Northern Lights inspired, and that's definitely reflected in the palette. So this is another one where I was like, I feel like I should pull this back out. It doesn't have as much of the blue kind of wintry tones that I think of, but it's a nice addition. Ooh, and the Blend Bunny Longing palette. This is such a good option. Definitely bring a little bit something different. I feel like there's more green tones in here and a lot of muted tones, but I think this as well is such a fun winter color story. You also, oh my gosh, that's a silver. Not me being low-key pissed at myself for missing that during my silver shadow video. It's fine, but this is such a good one as well. And you know, I'm always raving, well, if you're not new to my channel, if you are, hello, so happy to have you here. But if you've been around for a while, I'm always raving about the Blend Bunny formula, especially their mattes. They're so easy to blend, and just the way that they do their color stories, because the tones just go together so well. I think that's what makes them feel like they're even easier to blend. Like, you don't even have to do any work. It's just they're made to go together. It's funny because Oden's Eye has a lot of holiday palettes, but when I was looking through, I feel like there was only one that I was just like, to me, this is like truly really capturing winter, and that is the Christmas Eve palette. I don't think this one is available anymore. So again, a shout out to the past. But here's what she looks like. I feel like this is fun because it's kind of more of that combo of blue and gold, which I think can be really festive as well. And then last but not least, I wanted to also mention the ColourPop Stone Cold Fox palette. Just such a classic palette. One of my favorites that ColourPop has ever done. Actually, probably my favorite they've ever done. And it's just a really nice, soft, neutral palette. You've got some rosy tones, some like gray tones, and then just very neutral browns. So everything that you're gonna do here is gonna be a little bit more soft, a little bit more subtle. But I think this palette does make me think of winter in just a very true neutral kind of way. Because I feel like a lot of the other like neutral palettes I'm talking about are cool neutrals, and these are neutral neutrals. If that makes sense. So those are my top picks for winter eyeshadow palettes this season. I would love to know what palettes you are pulling back out, what tones you're getting inspired. Feel free to have a conversation with me down below, and I will see you tomorrow for another day of Indiemas. Bye.